Welcome to the BrickBoxPodcast. Hey, what's up, everybody? Talking all things production. Okay, for talent and crew, made by talent and crew. That's right. So, all right, Chuck.
Oh, you mean they don't want you to have free will?
Which is kind of why I continue to be here.
And sometimes we go off topic.
Oh, look at that!
So
Great.
for the home audience, for the internet audience, I am joined by actor-producer Brian C. Schilling of the YouTube sensation Stuck. Brian C. Schilling, Stuck. So what's going on, Brian? How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Chuck. How are you? And thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. Very excited. I watched. You have 4 episodes now. You have, what is it, over 22,000 hits?
Yeah. We're averaging about 30,000 hits per episode right now. And like you said, we just released episode 4 of season 1, and it comes out. We release a new episode every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on YouTube. And it's on my YouTube channel. You go to youtube.com/Think Schilling. And then you can watch a new episode of the series Stuck every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
So cool, man. So you play, for everybody who might have seen it, you play Paulie Stuck.
Yes.
You're in what seems right now, I don't want to give away too much spoilers, but you're in a sort of a love triangle, right? And it's cool. I mean, you got this guy Rico that you've paid to sort of take out your wife Greta, and we're following the adventure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the log line for the series Stuck is it's a mob couple is at war for throne of their dead marriage. And yes, I play Paulie Stuck. And I basically have my right-hand man in a dilemma right now because I said, listen, I'm going to give you $1 million cash and my wife's life insurance policy if you whack her. And the reason I want her whacked is because she's been having an affair with me. So there's some infidelity in there. But the log line is a mob couple is at war for throne of their dead marriage.
Yeah, it's very cool. So what got you into this? So you're originally from Chicago. I've been to Chicago. I love Chicago. I've been to the Bean,
Yeah.
The deep dish. Big fan of the deep dish.
Yeah.
So tell me about yourself. Tell me about you. Tell me about growing up and why now you went out to LA. You're following your dream. Give me a little bit of that if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I'm originally from Chicago. And like Fluffy the comedian says, like he talked about in his show on Netflix that he actually did in Chicago, he was talking about Portillo's, and that's a restaurant there. And he's like, if you ever had a chocolate cake shake from Portillo's, you won't ever want to leave the restaurant. It's amazing. But yeah, so I am from Chicago. I'm a former hockey player. And I injured my back playing hockey, and it required me to have back surgery. And when I had my back surgery, I had to retire from playing hockey. And the door immediately, acting door opened. And but in order to continue with my acting career, which then led into my producing career, which then led into my content creating career, my voiceover career, and my print modeling, and this, that, and the other. So the hockey door closed, and then this entertainment door opened. But I knew that you have to be in Los Angeles. You have to be in Hollywood, to stay relevant in this industry. And the reason being, Chuck, is just because, I can get a call from my agent, my manager, my publicist, Josh, whom they could call at any time and say, hey, you have a red carpet from a show for this, or you have a red carpet event for this, or hey, you have an audition in an hour, like you need to be there for this, or if I have from the acting perspective, it's more for like the red carpet events and the auditions and the callbacks and the directors meetings and the producers meetings and network executives and studio executives. So you have to be here to be present and to stay relevant. And then also too for the producing side of it. I do have a production company and 2 partners for the production company, and it's the same thing. If we want to meet with distributors or sales agents or studio executives or network executives, we need to be here. This is the playground for the entertainment industry out here in LA and Hollywood. So it's that's I came out here and just continuing down the path of with my acting and my producing. And to answer your other question, Chuck, how I came out, how people ask me this all the time. How did you think of Stuck? It's a genius. Like how did you think of this? And I literally, from my mouth to God's ears, I was laying in bed one night and I could not sleep. And I'm flipping and I'm flopping and I'm tossing and I'm turning, and my mind doesn't stop. And it's always going a million miles a minute. But I swear to you, anyone out there who's ever felt God's presence, they can relate. But I literally felt God's presence, and he literally handed me this idea of Stuck and the log line and the Bible and the storyline for the series. And he basically put it in my lap, and I literally felt his presence. And he gave me this Stuck concept and the Stuck content. And he basically was like, Brian, I'm giving you this Stuck content. Make me proud. And I immediately woke up. It was like, because I couldn't even sleep, but I just jumped out of the bed and I'm like, oh my God. And it was 3, 4 in the morning, and I texted my production partners, and I'm like, guys, I just have this amazing idea that popped in my head, and this is the log line, this is the Bible pitch, this is the storyline, and I said, and I even have a name that popped in my head for it, Stuck, and it was just amazing. And when they woke up in the morning, and I finally got a few hours of sleep, we collaborated the next day, and we were like, yes, let's do this. This is genius. But the reason why I chose Stuck for the name is because Rico, who you mentioned, my hitman, my right-hand man, he's really stuck in a predicament. He's stuck between love and he's stuck between, his boss, who's the mafia boss, his orders. Because even though Paulie Stuck orders Rico to whack his wife, Rico is hesitant because he's like, well, wait a minute. Do I take the $1 million in the life insurance policy? Because that's a lot of money. And do I do what my mafia boss tells me to do? Or do I continue to be having this affair with Greta, who's actually Paulie's wife? So I don't know that my right-hand man is the one who's been having an affair with my wife. But I just know that my wife has been having an affair. So Rico is really stuck between, what do I do? Do I take the money and listen to my mafia boss? Or do I follow my heart and try to keep this infidelity, affair, love, intimacy going on with Greta, who is Paulie's wife? So yes, you've seen, you watched the first 4 episodes, so you're introduced to these characters. You're introduced to Paulie Stuck. You're introduced to Rico. You're introduced to Greta. You're introduced to the money, the whole situation, the scenario. We brought in Father Xavier in episode 4, who is Rico's godfather. So I mean, you're in each episode that comes on, you're going to meet a different character, and it just gets bigger and better and bigger and better and bigger and better. That's really how it all came about.
That's so cool. I think one of the things is, first of all, you must have been fierce on the ice, man.
Oh, yeah, I was.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? You said your tooth? Nice.
My top teeth are actually not real.
Okay. I get that. Blackhawks, right? Blackhawks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm Bruins. I gotta put it out there. So we'll probably see you in the postseason.
Yeah.
But you're a spiritual guy, and I think what's important is, like you said, I mean, you were in tune, you were listening, and a message came to you, and you were able to just seize it and captivate it and be driven. And I think that a lot of people watching are gonna really take note of that. You were ready to go. I think, a lot of times I tell myself the best way to be ready for anything is to be set up for success. So when those moments happen, you're able to implement. And I think that, that goes to your producer's spirit and wanting to make this and wanting to act. And I think to go back to what you're saying about being in LA and being around everything, you know, as it's such a mecca, you know, it goes to that place where it's like you're in a place where you're set up for success, you're listening, you're in tune, you're ambitious, you're hungry, and then an idea comes in your head and you're like, let's act on it, let's go. And and that's the spirit that you need in the business. And I think that for somebody who's in LA, you know, just knowing, even if you're not in LA, if you're outside of LA, making your own projects, doing your own content, trying to figure out, like you name so many job titles, man, that's exactly what I think the future holds is a ton of job titles, being able to do stuff because you're somebody who, when it comes down to getting on set and knowing what to do, you know the 360, right? And can you speak to that? The fact that, like, how important that is when it comes to producing? Because I think a lot of times as an actor, you know, you think of it as like, oh, it's all about me. But when you step into that producer role, you're looking out for everybody. So in that, you're looking out for the whole crew. You're trying to do things and make things smart because, again, you're trying to get it done, right? You're following the dream.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And you know, it's you know, aside from being an ex-hockey player and an actor and a producer, and, you know, like I mentioned, the voiceover artist and you know, doing some print modeling work and this, that, and the other, I am an entrepreneur, and I'm a businessman. And the thing about this industry, like you were saying, is it's all about making money. Okay. And it's a business. It's strictly a business, and it's a game. So if you can understand the business side of the entertainment world, and if you can understand the game of the entertainment world, you're going to be successful. Because like you said, you know, it's not all about getting in front of a camera as an actor and just regurgitating lines. That's not acting. Right. And you know, there's a lot to it, but on the producer side of it, yes, I have a lot of responsibilities, and it's mostly from not only a creative perspective, but also from the business perspective. I need to make sure that each dot connects to the next dot, and that we dot our I's and cross our T's. And I need to make sure that, you know, we're ready to go with the cast, and we're ready to go with the crew, and we're ready to go with the shot schedule, and we have everything there that we need and implemented in place, so that once we start rolling the cameras, you know, we're ready to go. And it's just like anything else, you know, when you play a sport, right? You have to practice because you need to get your or you need to get your systems in place and practice that you're going to use in the game. And, you know, like stage acting, they have a bunch of rehearsals, and sometimes you might have more rehearsals than you have shows. But the reason why you have these rehearsals is because you need to make sure that once those lights come on and the theater's filled up and it's a production, you need to make sure that you're ready to rock and roll. So when I'm on set as the executive producer, you know, I'm making sure that, you know, days before, weeks before, months before in advance, that we've got everything on our list checked off. You know, from an insurance perspective, from waivers, from, you know, deal memos. I mean, there's so much behind the camera that needs to be done before we can put any kind of production in front of the camera. So yeah, I mean, behind, you know, yeah, and behind the camera, it's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of work. You know, you need to make sure, you know, you get out there and you get sponsors, and, you know, for a product display that's in your projects, and, you know, various different things, and you know, you're with their reps, and you know, again, I mean, there's just, you know, making sure that you have the right props and the right wardrobe and the right, you know, hair and makeup, and, you know, there's just, you know, and I watch all the audition tapes, you know, and I'm like, you know, because I have a certain vision in mind for each character that we cast, and, you know, so I watch every single audition tape, and collaboratively we you know, we decide, you know, which one's the best. So, you know, being a producer is not just some guy who's got a money who sits back and drinks, you know, scotch and smokes a cigar and doesn't do anything. Right? I mean, from a producer perspective, you're involved in the entire process from point A to point Z. And if anything doesn't go wrong, you're going to be the one who gets blamed. Right? I mean, excuse me, if, you know, if everything doesn't go right, if something goes wrong, the executive producer is the one that's going to be blamed for it. Okay.
Right.
because it's my job to make sure that I have the right director and the right DP and the right photographer for behind the scenes photos, and the right hair and makeup and the right crew and every you need to make sure that you get all that lined up properly and professionally, so that when it comes time to roll in the camera, you're ready to rock.
Heck yeah. So awesome, man. I mean, I think your story is inspiring. The show is really cool. I love how it's bite-sized. I love how you can watch it. It's a few minutes and then you catch up the next week. It's so important in this time where like there's so much content, but then at the same time there's so much content and there's not stuff that is sort of like quality, and yours is quality. I love the intro, man. The intro is great. I love that, like the Ben Franklin, the whole thing. The music is perfect, so what I'm hoping is we'll get a little clip, we'll put it in here, we'll promote the website, we'll send everybody there, we'll put a link up and everything. And I just want to say, like, I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can talk to you in the future, because I know my buddy Nick, who is producing this thing, is an ex-hockey player too, so it'd be kind of cool to have a little hockey talk, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And another side note too, Chuck, about me as well, aside from my acting, producer stuff too, but I'm also an awarded humanitarian. And I was presented with thank you, and I was presented with my humanitarian award in New York City, because I'm a supporter of and an advocate for several different amazing causes. One is NADS, which is the National Association for Down Syndrome. I also am an advocate too for anti-bullying. I'm going to be coming out with a children's book that I'm going to be donating, not selling. I'm donating them to the less poverty elementary schools in the city of Los Angeles. I'm also a big advocate for the homeless, not only people that are homeless, but also animals that are homeless. And I also advocate too for mental health awareness. Make sure that I get out there and make an appearance at the Special Olympics, or whatever it may be, at the animal shelters, or the homeless shelters, this, that, and the other. Because it's really in any industry, especially in the industry of arts and entertainment, it's all about collaborating, and it's a people industry. Right. And you have to be, good, not only for yourself and your company and for your own career, but you also have to do whatever you can do as a human being with a conscience that, if you can help change someone's life for the better, or help change the world for the better in any way, shape, or form. Right. I mean, I could change 5 people's lives. Right. Yeah, that's only 5. But now those 5 can help change another 5 people's lives, and it just can escalate like a spider web, right, or like a wildfire. And so I'm so grateful for having that humanitarian award as well.
Well, I just want to congratulate you on that. You're doing God's work. I mean, and you're hustling, and you're being fierce, and and you're giving back. And I think that's a huge thing. When you said the thought about, the business and show business, I often think if they had flipped it, everybody would understand more. If it was business show instead of show business, everybody would get it a little more. But at the same time, we're handed the cards that we're handed. So I want to thank you for your time. I value your time. I know you got to hop off for another interview, and you're doing great stuff. And I'm going to be tuning into the show. And like I said, we'll pop in a trailer so everybody can see it.
Where should we begin?
You have 48 hours to get this done.
Like I said, I'm lost. Well, that's a good place to be.
I wanted to be just like him.